Make your character so good that even a blind person can see your kindness, because true goodness has never depended on eyes to be recognized. It radiates through the energy you carry, the words you speak, the actions you choose, and the silent presence you leave behind wherever you go. Kindness is a fragrance the soul gives off, and a fragrance does not need to be seen to be felt. It simply travels, naturally, effortlessly, touching hearts long before it touches senses. There are people in this world who may never look at your face, never see your smile, never witness your gestures with their eyes, yet they will still know who you are because character is revealed not by appearance, but by the choices you make when no one is watching. A good character becomes a living proof of your inner world, a testament to the way your soul thinks, feels, loves, and responds. When you speak gently, people feel it. When you walk with humility, people sense it. When you help someone without expecting anything in return, the universe acknowledges it, and even the ones who cannot see you can feel the vibration of your sincerity. Kindness is not something you do for show. It is something you do because your heart refuses to allow another human being to suffer alone. It is a quiet strength, a silent prayer, a soft echo that travels farther than loud intentions ever could. True kindness is not found in big acts performed for applause, but in the small, consistent gestures that show your heart's real temperature, being patient with the impatient, gentle with the angry, generous with the needy, understanding with the misunderstood, and compassionate with the broken. When your character is pure, you don't need to tell the world you are good. People will feel it in the way you speak, in the way you walk, in the way you treat others, and in the way you carry the weight of life without letting it harden your spirit. Even someone who cannot see the world with their eyes will still recognize the light you carry because the soul has a way of sensing truth, sincerity, and love without any physical vision. A blind person may not see your face, but they will feel your presence, your gentleness, your willingness to listen, your patience, your honesty, and your humanity. Your character becomes a warm blanket that people wrap themselves in, a safe space where judgment does not exist, and kindness flows freely without conditions. Make your character so strong, so pure, so consistent that your goodness becomes a habit, not an effort. Let your actions speak a language everyone understands, the language of respect, empathy, and unconditional goodwill. We often forget that people remember feelings more than words. They remember how you made them feel, how your presence changed the atmosphere, and how your kindness stayed with them long after you left. Good character is not built in a day. It is created through countless choices, sacrifices, reflections, tears, apologies, self-control, and moments when you choose peace over pride, compassion over ego, and love over anger. A good character is not something you inherit. It is something you form by sharpening your conscience, reshaping your habits, healing your wounds, and learning from the pain you once caused yourself or others. The world may judge you based on what you look like, but the soul recognizes you for who you truly are. And when your character is rooted in honesty, compassion, integrity, and humility, even someone who cannot see will be able to feel the warmth of your spirit like sunlight on their skin. Make your character so gentle that people feel safe around you, so honest that people trust you, so humble that people respect you, so loving that people find hope in you, and so consistent that even your silence speaks a goodness. Let your kindness be the light that shines in the darkness, the hand that lifts others, the voice that comforts, and the presence that heals. Live in such a way that the blind can see your heart, the deaf can hear your intentions, and the world can feel your purity without requiring any explanation from you. True character is revealed in how you treat people who can do nothing for you, in how you react when you are angry, in how you forgive when you are hurt, and in how you love when you are not loved back. Make your character so good that your kindness becomes your identity, your compassion becomes your strength, and your goodness becomes your legacy. When your heart is clean, your presence becomes a blessing. When your intentions are pure, your name becomes a comfort. When your soul is radiant, your existence becomes a gift. Strive every day to grow into the kind of person whose kindness is so strong that even the blind recognize it, not through sight, but through the Spirit. Because kindness does not need eyes, it needs a heart. And when you live with a heart full of goodness, the whole world can feel it, even those who can never see you. And still, the beauty of true character is that it requires no spotlight, no stage, no audience to shine. It glows naturally from within like a candle in a dark room, silently illuminating everything around it. A person of great character does not need to declare their goodness, because goodness is felt, not announced. You can fake a smile, you can rehearse polite words, you can pretend for a while, but the soul cannot pretend, and people can sense the truth of your heart even without their eyes. A blind person can feel the difference between a hand that touches with care and a hand that touches with impatience, between a voice filled with warmth and a voice dripping with arrogance, between a presence that brings peace and a presence that brings discomfort. That is why your character matters more than your image, because image is what people see, but character is what people experience. When you walk into a room, before you even speak, your energy speaks. It announces your intentions, your sincerity, your humility, your compassion. Some people see the world through eyes, but others see it through feeling, and for them, your character is the only light they perceive. So make your character so good, so tender, so authentic that your kindness becomes a natural force, like wind that touches everything without being seen. Let your heart become an instrument that plays the melody of love no matter who is listening, because love leaves an imprint even when unnoticed. Build yourself into someone whose presence alone is a gift, whose silence is calming, whose words are healing, and whose actions are comforting. Grow into someone who can walk into the life of another and leave it better, lighter, softer, without needing any recognition in return. Kindness is not something you do, it is something you become. It is not a project but a lifestyle, not a moment but a habit. It is woven into your thoughts, stitched into your choices, and reflected in your interactions. When your character is built on truth and goodness, every step you take becomes a prayer, every word you speak becomes a blessing, and every gesture you offer becomes a form of service. Even when the world tests you, when people misunderstand you, when life challenges your patience, choose to stay kind, because your character is not measured by how you act when everything is easy, but by how you respond when everything is difficult. Be the type of person who remains soft even after being hurt, who continues to believe in goodness even after witnessing cruelty, who offers love even after being shown indifference. This kind of character is rare, and because it is rare, it shines brighter than any worldly success. A blind person may never see your tears, your struggles, your sacrifices, but they will still feel the kindness in your voice, the gentleness in your touch, the sincerity in your words, and the purity of your intentions. Kindness has its own language, a silent, universal language that does not depend on sight or sound. It is felt in the heart. When you speak kindly, your voice becomes a soft pillow for someone's pain. When you act kindly, your presence becomes a shelter. When you love kindly, your heart becomes a home. And when you live kindly, your character becomes your greatest form of light. The world may forget your achievements, ignore your status, overlook your appearance, but it will never forget how you made people feel. So make them feel safe. Make them feel valued. Make them feel seen even when they cannot see you. That is the kind of goodness that stays with a person forever. Make your character so good that even in darkness you are light. Even in silence you are comfort. Even in storms you are calm. Even in chaos you are peace. Let your kindness become so strong that it reaches people without the help of eyes. That is true greatness, not to be seen, but to be felt. Not to be praised, but to be remembered. Not to shine for yourself, but to illuminate the path for others. Live in such a way that if the world lost its sight, your goodness would still guide them. Because in the end, the soul does not see with eyes. It sees with truth, and truth always recognizes a good heart. And the more you grow into kindness, the more you realize that goodness is not weakness but power. The kind of power that does not dominate but transforms, that does not force but inspires, that does not shout but heals. A strong character does not rise by stepping on others, but by lifting others up. It does not shine by dimming others, but by adding light where there is none. When your heart is trained to love, to forgive, to understand, to empathize, you become a source of hope in a world where many hearts feel numb, tired, or abandoned. And even those who cannot see your face will feel your compassion in the way you speak life into their darkness. A blind person will understand your heart through the tone of your voice, the softness in your words, the patience in your conversations, the quiet respect you give them. They will feel more seen by you than by those who have perfect eyesight but no real vision. True kindness creates connection beyond physical senses. It reaches the soul directly. Make your character so good that your presence feels like sunrise after a long night, warming everything it touches without effort or expectation. When people encounter you, let them feel lighter, calmer, more hopeful, even if they cannot explain why. That is the magic of a good heart. It leaves invisible fingerprints on everyone it meets. And when you speak truth gently, people feel safe to be themselves around you. When you listen without judgment, people feel valued. When you help without boasting, people feel loved. When you forgive without resentment, people feel understood. This is the kind of character that even the blind cannot ignore, because the soul senses what the eyes cannot see. Become the kind of person who carries peace like a fragrance, leaving trails of comfort behind you. Become someone who chooses kindness even when others choose cruelty, someone who answers bitterness with grace, someone who stays humble even when praised, someone who stays loving even when unloved. The world may test your spirit, break your heart, challenge your patience, but do not let it change your nature. A river does not stop flowing because it meets rocks. It simply flows around them. In the same way, let your goodness continue, no matter what obstacles appear on your path. People will forget what you said in anger, but they will remember how gently you spoke to them when they were hurting. They will forget what you wore, but they will remember how you made their soul feel. And when someone who cannot see physically still feels your essence, that is the ultimate proof of purity. Because in the end, character is not measured by the shine of your appearance, but by the light of your heart. And this light is not something eyes capture, it is something souls absorb. So keep your heart soft, your intentions pure, your actions sincere. Be the kind of human whose goodness is loud enough to be felt without sight, whose compassion is visible even in complete darkness, whose presence is a blessing even to those who cannot see your face. Let your life become a gentle reminder that the greatest beauty is not seen but felt, not shown but lived, not performed but embodied. Make your character so good, so genuine, so deeply rooted in love that even a blind person can look at your soul and say, "I can feel your kindness."